Hey, what's going on guys, Oscarmini here, and in this video, we're going to be doing a review of the Infinix S4. I came to fall in love with the design of the S4 at first sight, and it's one of the most aesthetically pleasing devices from this brand in my opinion. In this video, I want to tell you everything I found about the smartphone, which includes its performance, camera features, battery life, price, and my verdict here after a whole month's use. So without taking much of your time, yo guys, let's get started. Design-wise, like I said earlier, the S4 is simply a beauty to behold. Though it's made mainly of plastic, it sure doesn't look mediocre as it has this dual-tone gradient finish at the rear. The front features an HD plus 6.2-inch display with a water drop notch which can be hidden from software, but I'd rather have it just to enjoy the little over 85% to body ratio on the 19.5:9 display. Colors on the display are a little saturated and sure look nice, but you are limited to just 720p video streams from YouTube. You get a triple camera setup at the rear, of which are a 13-megapixel main shooter, an 8-megapixel wide-angle camera, and a 2-megapixel depth-sensing lens for bokeh or portrait mode. At launch of the camera app, you get to see an AI cam mode, which it defaults to, the beauty mode, bokeh mode, obviously the portrait mode, and an AR mode to get those augmented reality shots. The photos that come off the main camera are pretty impressive, especially when shot in the right lighting conditions. Although, one thing I noticed was that there tend to be some sharpening and kind of over-processing going on in the photos. This might be good to some as you could quickly post the photos to your social media accounts without much worries about having to edit these photos. The pictures coming off the wide-angle lens, though not as impressive as I got from the main camera, were okayish. Honestly, they were decent but had this soft feel to them. They weren't as sharp as the main camera, and that's understandable. Bokeh or portrait mode did pretty well, better than what I've seen on previous iterations of the Infinix devices. Here's a photo from the bokeh mode. The front-facing camera is a 32-megapixel shooter and gets a lot of details even when you cropped into the photo. One thing I noticed was the environment lighting had a huge influence on how pictures were represented on this camera. You do not have a front-facing LED flash, but the device tries to make use of the display panel as a light source to brighten up selfies. And for those who care to know, the Infinix S4 isn't Gcam app compatible. Video on this device can be recorded at up to Full HD, which is 1080p, and I didn't notice any form of stabilization going on with this lens.
Okay, this is a test for the front camera of the device. Pretty cool though.
If there's something I didn't like about the design, is the position of the downfiring speakers, as it could easily get blocked. Placing it at the position of the headphone port would have been a better fit. Though the camera might not be the best for a geeky techie person, it definitely would serve most purpose for many. The performance on the S4 is something usable, though not as fast as I'd love. The Infinix S4 comes bundled with a Helio P22 CPU and the PowerVR GE8320 GPU. I tried gaming a little on this device and noticed it could handle most of the games and tasks thrown at it. It occasionally gets heated up while gaming, and most of all, it stutters and lags at random while playing 3D games like PUBG. If you'd be having multiple apps running in the background, I'll recommend you go get the maxed out 6GB RAM and 64GB RAM variant, other than the 3GB and 32GB variant we have in this video. By the way, here is the Antutu and Geekbench scores from this device. With an internal memory of 32GB, you will have about 23GB to yourself out of the box. The XOS skin on top of Android 9 Pie on this device is pretty snappy, and you get options like the smart panel from the side where you can easily access screen record and screenshot options. The system navigation options, of which I'll always choose mixed navigation over any other form, and also the action and gestures where you get things like the lift to wake, tap and wake, and a whole lot more. You could add up your very own installed apps to the smart panel also. A few things you might get to see on this device include a couple bloatware, mostly removable, ads popping up in the notification pane, and you do not have a gallery app. While talking about the security features, you have the face unlock feature alongside the fingerprint option. The face unlock on the S4 is pretty much one of the fastest they have out on the smartphone market, as time to be corrected. It's really fast to the extent that I never have to think about unlocking this smartphone whenever I picked it up, and honestly, it scares me and raises my worries as to if it's actually as secure as they propose considering this device's price point. Even in low light conditions, it shockingly works, though a little slower than usual. The fingerprint sensor on the other hand is a little slower, but more reliable in my opinion, and I usually would use this in low light conditions. In my test, and while using a 10-watt charger included in the box, it took me a little over 2.5 hours to get the 4000 mAh battery all juiced up. This device is obviously one to use all day. I mean, the battery in here does last pretty well. Despite consuming media over the internet and my regular day-to-day use, I'd always end my day with a decent amount of battery life, usually about a third. I got my unit from Jumia for 55,000 naira earlier last month, but you can have it now for about 47,000 naira or $130. And at this price point, you get a full support for 4G, dual SIM setup, and a dedicated micro SD card slot to expand the already 32GB in this variant I have here. The Infinix S4 is basically a mid-range smartphone that checks out a lot of boxes as long as a usable smartphone is concerned, and you can never go wrong with this device at the mid-range level. I mean, you get a nice battery life, decent cameras, usable and nice looking display outdoors, fast face unlock, support for OTG, and most of all, it looks premium. It's also worth knowing that you do not have fast charge support, no NFC, no USB Type-C, and just an HD Plus display, and you get an average performance on this smartphone. So there you have it, my review on the Infinix S4. Do let me know other things you'd love to know about this smartphone in the comments, as I'm going to be down there replying to your comments. Hit the like button if you love this video, and do not forget to smash the subscribe button if you haven't done that already. Other than that, it's goodbye, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Cuídate.